Hey, everyone out there, Dan here, aka the Comic Concierge, and it's been quite a long time since I've had a video. Unfortunately, it's been basically this comedy of errors over the last few weeks where I had videos recorded, but there was issues with my actual recording equipment. Then I had issues at home with construction and flooding, and it was just kind of a crazy last really month or so. So I'm finally getting back into some sense of normalcy, and with that, I thought I would do a video, and I'm going to get back into my normal flow of videos, my starting points videos, things of that nature, probably next week. But before I get to that, over the last month or so, I've been getting into Funko Pops a lot recently. I know I'm really late into the game. People have been doing it for years. I was never really into them, but actually, since starting this YouTube channel, I've been slowly adding more and more to the collection. And recently, I bought a bunch, so I thought I'd go through some of our recent pickups. In collecting pops, I'm kind of trying to focus in on certain categories, so I'm not trying to collect everything at once. Again, I'm very new into this game, and really the things I enjoy the most, or I enjoy the most with my son, and one of the biggest ones being Star Wars. I'm not the biggest, hugest Star Wars fan in the history of the world. I was really moderately into Star Wars until actually my son started getting into it not too long ago, so that's got me more and more into it, and he also enjoys Funko Pops, so because of that, been getting a lot of Star Wars Funko Pops. So recently I picked up a few. So we have Rio Durant here from Solo. I know Solo is one of those movies a lot of people really bag on for a lot of reasons, and it's not a perfect movie, but I actually think it's better than people get it credit for. I actually have another pop that I got that's based off on the Solo film as well. And Rio Durant, I'm probably not saying that correctly, but he was a pilot in that. This is the character that was voiced by Jon Favreau. And I actually just really like the design of this Funko as well. I think, actually Funkos don't necessarily have a lot of detail. That's not their purpose, but I think the fur here looks pretty cool. And really, I actually kind of like that he's looking down. Like, I feel like all Funkos kind of just have that same look, but this one's a bit different. So because of that uniqueness, that's a big reason I decided to get it. So got Finn, of course, from the new trilogy. Finn's a character I think I really like the character of Finn. I actually thought they kind of dropped the ball with him in the third movie, but in general, I like his progression as a character. And I actually think that it would be great to see either comics or further stories that kind of further explore his, force sensitivity, or what you want to call it, in future movies or TV shows or comic books. Because I think I feel like they didn't know where the character was going in the third movie, along with a lot of different things. But I do like the character. Another one I picked up from my local comic book store that I used to go to in my hometown was Darkseid Ray. And this one I was actually happy to get because I actually never seen it at a store before, and actually looked it up. It was much more expensive online than what I paid for it. So I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. So my son's a big fan of Rey, although he doesn't like it when she gets bad. But I like the design of the character. It's kind of funny. You have a Funko Pop for a character that was like in this movie for like 2 seconds, but hey, it's kind of cool and nice design in general. With the double-bladed lightsaber, which I'm always a fan of. So I mentioned now I have another Funko Pop from the Solo film, and that's with Infant's Nest, which is like actually part of why I really love that movie is that twist, and where it comes from I think is actually kind of cool. And I really do like this character. Like, I think Infant's Nest, that entire little group, has so much potential to kind of expand upon it. That's one of my favorite eras of Star Wars, is like the Young Rebellion, which is why I really like the Rebels cartoon, even a Bad Batch, where you're kind of seeing it grow. I feel like of all Star Wars lore, that's a part of it that hasn't been explored a great deal when it comes to television and movies and things like that. We've seen a lot of, like, the Clone Wars and things like that, but that bit of beast, as we're seeing the Rebellion form, is kind of cool. So again, I do really like this. Also really do like this character design. That's pretty awesome. My last Star Wars pop that I picked up, it's funny because I picked this pop up. Wasn't a big fan of how this character was utilized in the movie, but I do like the character, and that's, Emperor Palpatine. This is, of course, the version that is from the Rise of Skywalker. I wasn't a fan of bringing him back from the dead like many. I just think it was unnecessary. I like the idea of Rey just being a nobody coming from nowhere. I think that's much more of an interesting story. But I do like the character of Emperor, and I don't, being late into the game of Star Wars, like trying to get the original version and things like that, a little bit more expensive. So I thought I'd keep it. I actually do really like that design too, like the little energy beam coming out, the dead face. So it's well put together pop, even if I don't love the decision. So also, when it comes to my pops, I thought I'd show some of the Star Wars ones I already have. If you already noticed, there's some in the background, but I thought I'd bring them down and go over them. So I talk about some of the ones I already do own. And yes, I do take my Funko Pops out of the package. That's how I am as a collector. I'm not a huge into collecting things. I'm kind of in a way kicking myself that I'm getting into something else to collect. But here is Rey. I am a huge fan of the character of Rey. Again, I don't really love everything they did with her in the third movie, but I think in general her plight was really compelling. I know a lot of, not to get into controversy, because I know you talked about the Star Wars sequels and people just, are gearing up to hate everything. So anyways, but my son also really likes the character as well, and he loves lightsabers, so it's a big reason I got this version of the character to go along with the evil version of the character. So there you go, right? Evil Rey, good Rey. Which way should she go? I think if anything, the biggest dropping of the ball is that I never felt Rey was ever fully compelling to go to the dark side. I never felt that way. And I also felt like that wasn't really a conflict I needed. Not to be Star Wars talk, that's not my goal. About the Bad Batch, and I am a huge fan of the Bad Batch, and I'm going to go through and try to get all the different Bad Batch Star Wars characters. So this is Hunter. I always want to call him Wolf for some reason. I feel like basically the guy that looks like John Rambo. So I'm trying to get the other one. I have Echo, I think, on pre-order, and of course you have Mando, the probably the one Star Wars thing I think everyone can agree on is great, which is nice. Nice to have that again. There's a ton of different Mando ones. I want to get one with him and Baby Yoda. I don't have that yet, but maybe soon. My personal favorite, and probably up there as my son's personal favorite Star Wars character as well, is Ahsoka Tano. This one actually my son got for Christmas, and you can see that it's actually broken. He likes to play with them. Again, this is why I like to open them. This isn't just for me, it's for him too. He likes to play with them, and within that, it got broken. And I'm okay with that because toys get broken. That's why I like my son play with like some of my old toys. A future video, I think I might go through some of the old toys that I had growing up that I still have. That'd be kind of fun. Of course, you got some great villains. One of I love the portrayal of him in the Mando show. These guys don't like each other, but ooh, evil. Another Mandalorian, but a different version of the Mandalorian, of course. I do love the Maul Ash horns that were added. Gar Saxon, who is kind of a know-nothing character, if I'm being honest, but Mandalorian design is really cool. And lastly, I have Ben Skywalker. I do want to get a Kylo Ren as well, but this one was at like a Target or whatever, so that's why I picked it up. That is the one part of the movie I do really like, is like the relationship between him and Rey. And it's not, I mean, it's really just two actors that are making material better than it should be. But anyways. I also got some recently on clearance, or I got some from pretty cheap. Like, for some reason, Amazon will always notify me if like ones I was interested in are lower priced than normal. So I actually got this, the kind of classic looking Wolverine, who apparently has a scratch on him. I didn't realize that until now. But I am a Wolverine fan. Maybe, and then some of these which were really cheap. I think I got these from Hot Topic a while ago, and they were like only a couple dollars, which is like the Gamerverse version of these characters. You have the Gamerverse version of Thor and then of Miss Marvel. And I will say though that like this Miss Marvel one is really bad because like it does not stand up very well. Like they made the body too small, so it flops down really easily. So this one I kind of wish I didn't take out of the package, because you put her down and she's gone. I don't have a lot of Marvel, although I'm more Marvel fan than a DC fan and more than a Star Wars fan. For some reason, when it came to Funko, I've been focusing more on Star Wars and The Office, which I'll get into some of the Office ones I have. So these are some of the Office ones that I have. But first, I have Dwight Schrute as the Scranton Strangler. I think it's just from one of the more recent versions of it. Again, I'm really late to the game, so I am trying to get at least one version of every major Office character. So this is my Dwight. And then I have Andy from Beach Games. This is when he was in the sumo suit, so that's this version of him. I do have Michael Scott as well. This is the Michael Scott version when he was in the straitjacket. I forget what episode that was in, but when he couldn't get out of the straitjacket. So these are the ones I've got these a long ago. This was one of the first ones I bought by myself. I got it at Target. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll actually go down this journey. So, and again, Office is one of my favorite TV shows, which I know is really common right now. But I was into it before it was cool. No, I was into it probably mostly because I come from that area. So it's a big reason why I've gotten into the show long ago, but I also picked up some new recent ones as well. So the recent ones I picked up, I have Daryl Philbin, who I think is, Greg Robinson, one of the, I think, more underrated characters on the show, one of the better characters on the show, who I actually thought should have been the manager after Michael, but I kind of get why I didn't put him there because he's too competent to be in that job. So compared to like Andy, he was kind of a buffoon. And then I got one Jim Halpert, and this is actually taken from the last season, season 7, The Days of Nonsense, uh, piece of it. But which the more, not season 7, but season 9, and the more I've actually watched the last season of The Office, it's probably still the weakest season, but I think I've actually liked it more and more because I am one of those people that rewatch The Office way too much. It's probably the only reason I actually have Peacock. But yeah, so I have these. My hope is to get at least every major character, at least one version of it. I'd actually want to get a better Michael than I have because that one's not great. I don't think people tend to think it's a Houdini or something else or some sort of magician and not Michael Scott. But those are my Office book pops. So I talked about how I didn't have Marvel pops, but I actually forgot that I have more than I talked about. So because I actually got some from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I have Baron Zemo and Winter Soldier. I've got these. I think I got both of these at GameStop, which was the first time I went into GameStop since like college. And then recently, I was actually really trying to go for this one, which I finally got, which is Falcon. So I was happy to get this version of it, and I really want to get the Falcon as Captain America, that outfit, because I love that costume, and I haven't got that one yet, but I do really like this version of the character too. So now I have the 3 major characters of the show, and I don't have any WandaVision pops because I wasn't actually collecting them at the time. I do plan on getting some Loki ones too. Like I think Alligator Loki is probably one I want to get, and Old School Loki when those come out. So I was also happy because I was able to finish the classic DC Trinity. I have this Superman pop, which is actually the first pop I've ever owned. This was given me to one of my friends who I used to do the Talking in Circles podcast with. He was far much more into pops than I ever was, but he hates Superman, so he gave me this one. And I've had this forever, so it's just been my lone pop for a while. I'm like, I don't care about pops, but this is kind of cool. I was kind of happy to get it because I'm a Superman fan. And then probably one of the first ones I actually started getting was then earlier this year was this Batman one, and this is Batman '89. That's actually my favorite suit of Batman. I love this logo, the black and white logo, so it's kind of cool to have them. But I'm like, I need to get a Wonder Woman, so I've been kind of waiting, and finally I decided, oh, I found one at the store. So I went to I actually got this from my local comic book store a while ago, and finally finished the Trinity. And this is, of course, Wonder Woman. This is the Justice League version of it. Not my favorite movie of all time, but I do actually like the actual costume design here. So was happy to have them. So I don't know if I'll get more DC ones again. I was like, all right, let's try to like not go crazy with them. Although I feel like I've already gone crazy. But those are my DC ones, and I also have Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, mostly because actually those are my sons. I got those years ago at my old comic book store because they were on clearance, and I promised him a toy at the store, and they didn't really have anything that wasn't like a collector's toy for $20, and he liked those, so they've been actually collecting dust. But I've been able to add them to the collection now. But outside of that, those are really my only DC ones at this time. And these again are ones I got a little while ago as well. This one I got at a Target, which was just a different version of Miles Morales with the crazy legs. And this one I know I got at GameStop because it was on clearance. And this is Dutch from Predator, and this was like super clearance. It was like a couple bucks. So like, I actually really love Predator. I don't know if people really know who this is because it's just this dude in mud. But you get a little bit of blood there. There's not a lot of Arnold Funko, so that was cool. But I think I need to get the Predator Funko so people can kind of connect them. Outside of that, it just looks like this weird dude in mud. So there you go. Last but not least, so this doesn't fit into any of the categories. It's not a DC, it's not The Office, it's not Marvel, but I am somewhat of a fan of Dragon Ball Z. I'm not going to call myself an expert. I watched it when I was in high school. I haven't really returned to it since then, but I do have this special place in my heart because I do remember coming home after school, checking out Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. I kind of started when I was on Frieza. I remember like I would record the episodes too because sometimes I wouldn't get home in time, and kept watching them until Dragon Ball Z became, I forget what it was after that. I'm sure many Dragon Ball Z fans can fix that for me. But so I was actually in the storyline, got into the storyline when Goku finally becomes a Super Saiyan, and I've watched some of the older stuff since then. But I saw this at the comic book store, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I thought maybe I'd add that to the collection. I don't know if I'm going to get more Dragon Ball Z ones, but having a Goku in your collection, there's worse things in the world. And again, I guess I'm seeing that I'm a fan of when they add the additional energy beams and stuff like that, because I have that on Thor, and I have that, and that kind of also helped me uh, decide to pick this one up. I actually got this one and the Dark Side Ray there as well, so I was happy to add those. So, and I also I do really like that design, the blonde hair, and I don't know why, I just think it really clicks. So again, I'm very relatively new into the world of Funko. If we look at my collection compared from a few months ago, which I had like, a couple, to now, it's grown probably far too quickly. I don't know what it'll be like in a few months. There, like I said, there are some ones I'm focusing on like the Bad Batch Star Wars, and some of the Marvel ones here and there. Mostly the Bad Batch Star Wars and The Office. Those are the things I'm looking at, which are kind of not really the same thing, but there you go. But I'm curious, if you're a Funko collector, what are some ones that you collect? What are your some favorite places that get Funkos? I mean, mostly I'm just going to stores here and there. I've got some online, but I'm not like eagerly hunting things down here and there. It's not like something I'm doing. I feel like that's my comics collection. I don't need to go that crazy, but I'm curious to know. Like I said, there's a huge community out there, Funko people, and I actually have found like the Funko collectors to be some of the nicest people. Like I've joined some Reddit subreddits and things like that, and it just seems like they love the thing they're collecting, and there's no drama behind it. There's no like, it's just things like, oh, I love this thing, and here's the thing I love, which is, I feel like comic community can utilize that a lot more. But anyways, I hope to get more videos out soon. Now, with hopefully some of my tech woes are being fixed here and there. I appreciate the patience, and I should still have some short videos out, some like general like daily comic book recommendation videos out. So if you want to check those out, I also joined TikTok recently, Comic Concierge, if you want to check that out. But anyways, thanks for checking this video out. Just remember, I guess, that comics and Funkos are for everyone. The key is finding the right one. Until next time, keep reading.